Hey folks, this is Kalani. I'm going to be looking at Hunters and Beast Mastery, simply because we got a nice little buff to our Focus Fire. Now it gives you 5% attack power per stack when you use it, up from 2, so that's quite a significant buff, and it actually brings BM up to a point where it's somewhat on par with Marksman and Survival. So Marksmanship is still going to beat Beast Mastery 1 for 1. So if you're single target, Marksman is going to pull ahead. But as soon as you add another target, Beast Mastery starts to do work. It's pretty fantastic. That's because of Beast Cleave. And Beast Mastery is currently the best spec for anything where you get over 5 targets. So it's pretty awesome. It's pretty damn awesome. I'm pretty happy with the way that it's playing out. I actually played Beast Mastery in my raid a little bit yesterday and was pulling decent numbers, still ahead of the other hunters, which made me pretty happy. It's brilliant on fights like Tectus, where the number of monsters just keeps increasing, so you basically just do more damage, which is pretty fantastic. So we'll have a look very quickly at your talents. A few things do change, and a few things are personal preference. So Crouching Tiger, Hidden Chimera for the cooldown on disengage and deterrence. Binding Shot is still your best option here for the AoE stun. Iron Hawk is still probably your best option here, but Spirit Bond is very useful if there's a fight where you're taking constant damage. So that can help the healers quite a little bit. The only issue is that if you're at 100% health, that's not actually doing anything for you, and it's more reactive than preventative. So Iron Hawk prevents 10% of the damage incoming, whereas Spirit Bond will heal the damage. But you know, a shot that would kill you may not if you take Iron Hawk, but Spirit Bond isn't really going to help you when you're dead. So I like Spirit Bond. You're always going to have your pet active, obviously, so you can choose between the two. Iron Hawk is probably the better choice, though. For this line, you want Dire Beast. It seems to be the best choice for Beast Mastery, DPS-wise, so we're happy with that. We can just macro that into other abilities, and we don't really have to worry about it. For this line, Blink Strikes is going to be the best for sustained damage, and then Stampede can give you a nice bit of burst, but I'll be honest, you probably still want to take Blink Strikes. Stampede is very nice as an ability to push. It gives you something else, it gives you a large cooldown, that's like why I like using it, and the nice burst at the beginning of a fight makes you feel pretty good. But Blink Strikes if you want high sustained damage, Stampede if you want to burst and have a cooldown, and then Barrage and Glaive Toss is the exact same story. Barrage for 2 targets or more, Glaive Toss for 1 target, and then at the bottom you're looking at Adaptation. This is the BM equivalent of Lone Wolf. There's no real question there, you pretty much have to take Adaptation as a Beast Mastery hunter. So, glyphs, very quickly, we want Animal Bond is quite a nice one, helps with healing while your pet is active. All healing done to you and your pet is increased by 10%. Free 10% healing on you, yes please. Disengage is a nice one, lets you move further, not really much to talk about there. And then the last one, which I actually want to add just here, is Deterrence. So if you're soloing, Misdirection is probably going to be your go-to, so you can keep all the aggro on your pet, but Deterrence is a must-have for raiding. Now, BM is pretty simple, so I've got a few macros that I want to show you. The first one is a Call Pet and Stampede macro, so we'll go into macros real quick. Stampede and Call Pet. So find your Call Pet. My Spirit Beast is on Call Pet 2, called Kalara, so what we want to do is show tooltip, then /cast no pet, Call Pet 2, Stampede. And what that'll do is on the first click, if you don't have a pet, it will summon your pet, and then if you do have a pet, that button changes to Stampede. So you always want your pet to be active, so having Call Pet bound is really useful, and then replacing that bind with Stampede just cleans up your bars. It's a nice way to do things. The next one is Bestial Wrath and Dire Beast. You want both of them active as often as possible, so just macro them together and spam the crap out of it whenever one of them comes off cooldown. Once again, show tooltip, and then /cast Bestial Wrath and /cast Dire Beast on the next line, and that basically adds them together. You may want to put Dire Beast on your bar somewhere, unbound, so you can see when it comes off cooldown, because this is only going to show you Bestial Wrath cooldown, but when you hit it, it is going to use Dire Beast. Now, for rotation, it's priority, as with pretty much every hunter spells. Every hunter rotation is priority based, so you want Kill Command on cooldown. That is your first priority. Nothing should come before Kill Command. If that's not on cooldown, you're doing something wrong. If you don't have enough focus to cast that as soon as it comes off cooldown, you're doing something wrong. You need that to be cast ASAP when it comes off cooldown. Focus Fire at 5 stacks. You want to Stampede as often as possible if you're using it. If you're using Blink Strikes, you don't really have to worry about it. It's passive anyway. Bestial Wrath and Dire Beast on cooldown, and then Arcane Shot to fill. It's incredibly simple. It's never really been complicated, but right now it's actually doing quite a decent bit of damage. So on pull, you'll want to send your pet in to make sure they're in range of a kill command as soon as you start doing damage. So we're gonna start with an Arcane Shot into Bestial Wrath with Dire Beast, Stampede, and Kill Command, and we'll do that as quickly as possible. So spam time. And that's it from there. Make sure you're spamming as many abilities as you can during your Bestial Wrath. Remember, you get the focus cost reduction for them, but make sure you're pulling enough focus to Kill Command as soon as that comes back up. Try not to let yourself go too low, and feel free to get a little bit of focus back if you do need to. You need to make sure you've got enough focus to get that Kill Command off as quickly as possible. That is literally the most important thing about Beast Mastery, is your Kill Command. That's like half of your damage. So that's kind of the rotation. Make sure you get your Focus Fire stacks off as quickly as possible. You want to Kill Command some more, maybe a few Arcane Shots in there, and make sure to Barrage every now and then. Barrage will take higher priority over Arcane Shot, and that's really it. If you can Barrage at the end of a Bestial Wrath, that's going to be pretty amazing for your DPS, because it will then cost 30, and the Barrage will continue to cast at the 30 cost, but your Bestial Wrath has ended. So that's a really nice way to make use of that. And the only other thing, really, is when you start to cleave. When you start to get 2 targets, you want to throw in some multi-shots, and you probably actually want to replace your Arcane Shot with multi-shot, so you get the cleaves going on 2 targets. So we're going to start cleaving the Dungeoneer's training dummy right next to us. And you can see on your pet, sadly the tanking one is going to kill my pet, but that's disappointing. Make sure you get your pet up as quickly as possible, by the way, if it does die. You lose so much DPS if your pet dies. And if there's a risk of your pet dying on any fight, I would actually recommend going a different spec, because you lose that much damage. But let's have a quick look at the stat priorities. For Beast Mastery Hunter, it's Multi-Strike first, same as Survival, then Crit and Mastery. So Crit and Mastery are both as valuable as each other. Mastery is going to increase the amount of damage that your pet does, and Crit works in nicely for gaining focus for you and your pet whenever you crit or your pet crits. It's one of our passives, just to quickly make sure you know what we're talking about. Auto Shot Critical Strikes grant your pet 15 focus. So more focus for your pet means more of these basic abilities, Claw, Bite, etc. And if you get above 50 focus, they're going to deal more damage. So that's where we want our focus to be. Crit and Mastery. The others, kind of all equal, a lot lower, but either way, they're still going to be useful. But if you can get Multi-Strike, you're going to be laughing. If you can get Multi-Strike Mastery and Multi-Strike Crit, you're going to be like dancing over the moon. That's perfect gear for a Beast Mastery Hunter. But yeah, I tried it out in High Maul on Normal and Heroic. Any fight where you can cleave, it does really well. I managed 28k DPS on Tectus Heroic, which I was pretty happy with. Still only 3rd DPS, but that's fine, that's fine. It's really powerful if you get to AoE. If you don't get to AoE and it's single target, I'd still play Marksman. Marksman is still quite a bit ahead in that regard, but it's nice to change things up once in a while, and Beast Mastery has been brought up so that you can, so no more marksman or bust, which is pretty nice. If you have any questions or queries, please leave them in the comment section below and I'll try to get back to you. Remember to leave a like just below the video before you leave, and if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. But apart from that, thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always, I will see you next time.